Konnichiwa and welcome to episode 82 of the Leadership Japan series, and I am your host in Tokyo, Dr. Greg Story, president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan. And much more importantly, you, the listener, are a student of leadership, highly motivated to be the best in your business field. If you enjoy the program, then you might consider subscribing on iTunes and leaving a review. We would love to hear what you think about the series. How would you like your own access to 103 years of the accumulated wisdom of Dale Carnegie Training? Get our free report. Stop wasting money on training, how to get the best results from your training budget, plus free white papers, guidebooks, reports, training videos, blogs, newsletters, course information, plus much more at japan.dalecarnegie.com. Today we are going to discuss be, do, get. As professionals, how do we grow in our business careers? Academic studies usually form the platform to which we add on-the-job experience, books, articles, blogs, and websites, mentors showing us the shortcuts, cleverer colleagues providing insights, and continuing professional development through training. One of the issues with the training component is the effectiveness of what is being offered. The classic brand name university residencies for executives are limited to the chosen few. What about the majority of our teams? How can we get liftoff across the whole organization? In-house training, either delivered internally or externally, and attendance at publicly offered training, as well as online training, are the main provenance of corporate skill building. Online training is relatively inexpensive, easily accessible, and in most cases, rather passive in its approach. The completion rates for this format are also extremely low, at around 10% when done as self-paced learning. Classroom delivery led by instructors is still the mainstay for corporate training. Sadly, it is predominantly ineffective. Our team are sent off to training. HR ticks the job well done, completed box, and we all move on. What has been retained from the training? Even more importantly, what has been implemented after the training? What are the subsequent performance outcomes from the injection of the training? John Wanamaker was famously quoted as saying half of his advertising spend was wasted, but he didn't know which half. For training, if it was only 50%, we should be popping the corks and celebrating. In most cases, training fails at 3 points. The pre-training briefing between supervisor and staff is a key intervention to set up the learning experience. In Japan, this hardly ever occurs. So, staff turn up at training venues either bewildered or skeptical or both. The second breakdown point is the delivery in the training room by the instructor. I will elaborate on the sins of instructors in a moment. The post-training follow-up is the third area where refresh and reinforcements takes place. Now, in Japan, there is usually no follow-up. Instructors in Japan are often not highly skilled. The company's own internal trainers are usually the worst, because they are not given much opportunity to further develop themselves. They operate in a vacuum, and the train-the-trainer experience, which supposedly sets them up as professionals, is often a thin and weak gruel. They have a captive audience. The price is usually zero, and so they do not have to face the rigors of the marketplace. Internal politics within the organization is often the biggest factor in determining their career progression. External trainers operate in a crowded, competitive mart. The barriers to entry, however, to set up your own training shop are basically almost non-existent. Anyone can emerge from the chrysalis, butterfly-like, and become a trainer at whim. In Japan, there is a trainer bias toward following the university model of instruction, which is to lecture. Consequently, the usual Japanese local domestic trainer methodology is very much one-way traffic. I talk, you listen. In our modern, internet-driven world, access to information is a given. And the lecture-driven format is basically bankrupt. Foreign universities are finally working this out for themselves and changing how they deliver their classes. Japanese government bureaucrats will probably catch up with this need for varsity revision sometime in 22 AD, but business can't wait that long. Some more advanced local instructors may have worked out that there is this thing called two-way traffic, and may be inviting the classroom participants to discuss ideas in small groups and maybe even share those ideas with the whole group. Wow, breathtaking innovations. With the best intentions in the world, they are doing their best, but honestly, in this age, it is not good enough. The be plus do equals get formula takes a more sophisticated approach. The be part focuses on who we are. This type of training aims at something much more ambitious than what is usually offered. Here, we shoot for emotional change in the participant. This is achieved by introspection about our self-awareness around the basis for our thinking, opinions, beliefs, emotions, and insights. The instructor's skill level must be very high to foster participants' self-discovery such that they really own the breakthrough they achieve. Lecture is easy, but this level of depth is seriously hard work, and that partly explains why most trainers can't do it. A further level of sophistication is achieved when we start linking the be to our vision. I know, alarm bells go off when we start throwing around a word like vision. It was all the rage in the late 20th century, such that it was substantially oversold, dissolving into a cliche almost. In our be context, vision simply means having a view into the possible better you, a state achieved at a point in the not too distant future. The harnessing of dual introspection around where we want to be and who we really are is a powerful formula for creating the desire to move forward with our careers. Once we have established that chemical change in the brain through our emotional commitment to doing something new or different, we can move to do. The object here is to engender behavior change in the what we do. Obviously, if we keep doing the same things in the same way, well, we'll get the same results. Einstein noted that doing the same thing every time and expecting a different outcome was the definition of insanity. If he were around, I'm sure Einstein would judge many organizations' HR-directed training decisions as insane. Achieving behavior change is easy to say, but the post-training blues set in and the participants return to their workplaces going straight back to what they've always done. The reality is that, especially in Japan, there is very little post-training behavior change achieved. We might ask, well then, what was the point of the training apart from ticking the completed box for HR? The reason there is no or little transmission of the new insights into application is because the training did not address the tactical nuclear weapon in the room, getting the participants to break out from their comfort zones. We are in our comfort zones because we have eliminated risk by not doing anything innovative or new. Consequently, if all we are receiving is the download of data and information, then typically it sails through one ear and rapidly goes out the other. The insight application stickiness is not there. The course design and the delivery need to have the ability to lift participants out of their comfort zone and give them the wherewithal to change their actions, interactions, communication, and behavior to something more effective. Take a good look at how the training is being delivered. Once you understand the seriousness of this comfort zone issue, you'll be severely dissatisfied with what is currently being rolled out. The get are things like the results, influence, leadership, deeper relationships, higher engagement, the performance change. Importantly, taking the knowledge out of our head and getting it into our bodies through practice and repetition is the key to installing better and permanent methodologies in our teams. Lecture and data dump can't deliver these outcomes. The very concept of be, do, get is relatively unknown in Japan, awash in pontification and lecture. Knowing the concept is only the starting point though. The skill of the instructor to create these emotional changes through leading the participants to higher self-awareness and then to drive the implementation of the new insights requires advanced skill levels that few training organizations can understand, let alone aspire to. If you would like a copy of the free report, How to Stop Wasting Money on Training, How to Get the Best Results from Your Training Budget, go to www.dalecarnegie.com/free report. Thank you for joining the Leadership Japan series. If you found the program useful, then you might consider subscribing on iTunes and leaving a review. Remember to access your Dale Carnegie training, free reports, white papers, guidebooks, training videos, blogs, newsletters, course information, plus much more. Go to japan.dalecarnegie.com